Hello my best bookies. Today I am going to be making a video about some really unpopular opinions. This is the unpopular opinions book tag. I was not tagged in this. I just thought it would be a fun video to make. I actually don't even know who the original video was from, but this is a very popular video. It's basically about a bunch of opinions that I have that are not so popular amongst the general booktube and bookish population. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's really just questions, and I answer them with books, basically, I guess you could say, in a way. And also at the end of this video, I will be providing you guys with the answer to this whodunit mystery that I did in my last video. I probably will not be supplying you with another riddle until the video after this one, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video little chapter excerpt I did from the last video, and I hope you guys will enjoy my answer giving kind of thing. Alright, without any further ado, let's get into my unpopular opinions. So the first question is a popular book or series you did not like. For that, I'm going with Looking for Alaska by John Green. This is his debut novel, and I know so many people whose this is their favorite novel. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really love it either. I was not attached to any of the main characters. I found Alaska very annoying and kind of weird. I found the main character, Miles, to be just such a cliched, overdone character, and I didn't really like the storyline or where it went. I did not think the ending was a good wrap-up. I didn't hate the ending, but I just didn't think it really worked for the story quite as well as it could have. I didn't really enjoy this novel. I didn't hate it, but I just thought it was so kind of odd and weird. It was probably my least favorite John Green book. Next is a popular book or series that everyone seems to hate, but you love. For this, I'm going with Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, the Twilight Saga. So this is the special 10th anniversary edition where the story is repeated twice, one with the main characters having separate genders. It sounded really cool, but then I read a few pages and I was like, it's just Twilight again with different names. So I was not too interested, and I did not continue reading it in the 10th anniversary side. But I love the original story. I think it's so great. I really do love it. The writing style is a lot of the reason that people hate it. The other reason is kind of Edward's, like, talking towards Bella, and a lot of people say it's, like, possessive, and I have not read the series in a while, since 6th grade, so that was about 2 years ago. But, I mean, I loved it. I didn't find any of that to be true. The writing style could be a bit more matured and better done, but it's an awesome plot. The characters are adorable and lovely. Alice is totally my favorite character, almost of all time, possibly. She's so great, and I really love her and her quirkiness. I love this entire story's quirkiness. Yes, it is cheesy. Yes, it is cliche. Yes, it is romantic. And a lot of people don't like any of those things, but I love it, and I absolutely will forever love this saga. Next up is a love triangle or couple where the main character ended up with somebody you didn't like. For this, I'm going with the Infernal Devices trilogy. Now, this is very complicated. I'm going with the Tessa, Will, and Jem love triangle. I don't really like Will. I know a lot of people that absolutely love Will. In fact, one of my best friends would, like, die for Will if he could be alive. Like, she loves him deeply. But I was totally a Jem fan. Tessa and Jem are totally amazing. And in a way, like, it's a very complicated love triangle, but she sort of did end up with Will, and I really did not like that. I don't like Will. I don't think he's a good fit for Tessa. And I think Tessa deserves so much more than that, and I think she totally should have at first ended up with Jem, rather than, like, later. It's complicated. I don't want to spoil anything, but Tessa and Jem is way better than Tessa and Will, is basically all I have to say. The next question is a popular genre you barely reach for. For this, I'm going with science fiction. This is a science fiction book I've read, The Fifth Wave, and I did not enjoy it. I enjoyed this one a bit. I gave it 3 stars. It was not awful. I continued on with the series and I read The Infinite Sea, and it was so bad. That is one of few books I have ever given a 1 star to. I absolutely hated it. I didn't like the characters at all. I didn't like the plot. I thought it was so much more boring than this book. I thought all the characters were so different. I didn't even remember, like, half the characters somehow. It was not a good story. I'm sorry, Vicky and C. I know a lot of people that absolutely love this series, but I really actually hated it. But that has kind of deterred me from science fiction, plus it confuses me a lot anyway because I don't know a lot about it. But I recently have read This Mortal Coil, which was science fiction, and I enjoyed that. So maybe I will try to get more into science fiction. Maybe I should just leave this one series behind me. Next is a popular character you don't really like. For this, I'm going with Alec from the Mortal Instruments series. This is the first one, City of Bones. I know a lot of people who didn't like Clary or didn't like Jace. I loved Clary, I loved Jace, I loved Clace. It was just awesome. But Alec kind of annoyed me. There's a question later on about tropes, and this is kind of another one. I feel like Alec fits into that box where he, like, automatically doesn't trust someone kind of trope, like, to protect his sibling in a way, I guess. I didn't like Alec. I thought he was annoying. I just didn't like him overall, but I loved Magnus, so when Magnus and Alec were together, I tended to feel like Alex was a bit better, and I enjoyed him more, so I feel like Alec and Magnus were better than just Alec. And that really sucks, because I know a lot of people that love Alec more than most characters in the story, and I just didn't enjoy Alex at all. Alec. I keep saying Alex, but it is Alec. Next is a popular author you don't like. For this, I'm going with Veronica Roth, the author of the Divergent trilogy. By the way, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but that's beautiful, and that's for all of the books in this series, which is so cool. But anyway, I did not enjoy this series at all. This one was totally my favorite. I gave it like a 4-star, 3-star thing, and it just went so downhill from there. I didn't like her writing style. I thought it was too simplistic. I thought the plot and story of this did not go deep enough, and it really does not make me want to continue on with Veronica Roth's Carve the Mark series or start that. So sadly, Veronica Roth is very popular, and her books are obviously movies, so they're well known and well done, according to some people, but I really just did not like the series, and I did not like her, so I will not be continuing on with any Veronica Roth books. Next is a popular book trope you hate. So this one doesn't really have an official name, but it's that trope where two characters really love each other, but they have to stay away from each other because it keeps them safe. This happened in the Dark Artifices trilogy between Emma and Julian. They love each other, and I totally ship them. I think they are an awesome couple, power couple for sure. But, like, they stay away from each other because they think it will bring infinite doom on themselves and their family if they, you know, become a couple. And I hate that, and I hate where, like, Emma breaks it off with Julian because she's trying to protect him. I hate that. I mean, if you're gonna have them be romantically involved, don't have them separate for the good of each other. Just, like, have them separate. Don't have them separate at all. Just, like, let them be together. They want to be together, so let them. And I hate it. Just be with each other. And that's kind of my overall feeling on that book trope. Next up is a popular series you have no interest in reading. For this, I'm going with the Matched trilogy by Ali Kandi. I bought Match, and I, like, read the first 50 pages of it. I didn't like it at all. I was not very interested in it. I just didn't like it. And I'm totally not continuing on with the series. This is very popular. It had a cool plot and cool potential. And I might read her other book, Atlantia. That sounds kind of cool. But this really just disappointed me. I didn't like it. I am not going to be reading Crossed or Reached. This was just a disappointing series. I think I did go into it with kind of high expectations due to its popularity. However, I didn't like it, and I was really disappointed overall by pretty much every aspect of this story. Next is a book-to-movie adaptation that you actually enjoyed more than the book itself. For this, I'm going with Paper Towns by John Green. As you saw in the beginning of my video, I read Looking for Alaska, and I did not like that. And I did not like this one either. I love John Green. I've loved every book I've read by him except for these two. And at the beginning, this was a cool story. However, I thought Margot and Q's relationship was really weird, and I thought Margot was totally taking advantage of him, and I hated that, and I thought it was such a cliched relationship, like popular girl dates unpopular dude and everything changes and kind of thing. I really liked Q's friends. I thought that aspect of the story was hilarious and really charming. But Margot and Q's relationship, which was most of the story, was really disappointing. I did not like it. I didn't like Margot as a character, and I thought Q deserved way better than Margot. So I enjoyed the movie adaptation of this quite a bit. I did not really like the book, sadly, but I totally will be keeping it. I will never be unhauling this because it is a John Green book, and it does kind of complete my collection, so it was just not a good one in my opinion. So anyway, guys, that was my Unpopular Opinions book tag. I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed any of these books, good for you. I really hope you did. I totally wish I had enjoyed them, and I'm sorry if I am going against your opinion. It's just my opinions. We all have a right to our own. So I really wish I had enjoyed these books, and I am so happy for you if you did. But Whodunit Mysteries, the answer to the first one that I read to you guys. So the contents of the suspect's pockets do not include a key to the briefcase, the return part of the excursion ticket, enough cash and no other way of paying for buying books. Mr. Fink was arrested and charged. It was easy to find the owner of the briefcase. It turned out that he had put the case down while buying a newspaper, and in a matter of seconds it had disappeared. The sneak thief had rehearsed his story well in case he was questioned, but he hadn't allowed for the contents of his pockets, giving him away. So, at the end of the story, it revealed the contents of his pockets, and that included a bunch of miscellaneous items. However, he said that his briefcase was locked and there was no key for that briefcase. He said he was going on like an excursion trip, round trip, and there was no return ticket for that trip. And finally, he had said he was going out to buy a bunch of books and there was no money or credit card or any other way of paying for those novels. So the detective decided he was totally guilty and they ended up finding the dude, and it all ended well. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and I hope you enjoy my little whodunit mystery. You can now find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, all at Alex's Reads and Reviews. Yeah, so please follow me on those social medias. I update about the books I'm reading, I update like sneak peeks to video updates, and I tell you guys when I release a new video. So anyway, please find me on all those social medias. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye.